everyone, welcome to another MyPaint tutorial. In this case, I'm going to talk about the ink brushes. We were talking about in the last tutorial about the pencil brushes. Pencils and ink brushes are uh, very related because we usually first sketching with pencils and then ink with a brush. So, for example, we have something like this thin pen. This is a nice brush. It doesn't appear on the latest video because it's relative new, and it's very useful to create lines that decrease his size with the speed of the brush stroke. Okay, so if we apply pressure, nothing changes apparently. Okay, so we can map this to the pressure, and the pressure is set to 0, so nothing happens. But the final speed, which controls how the brush decreases his radius along the brush stroke, it's set to negative values. So that means more speed we decrease uh, the radius. Okay, so you can see here the curve. This is the final speed graph. So the input value is related with final speed in a negative value, and the output value is the radius. So more velocity means that we are decreasing the radius because we have this positive values and negative values. So we are decreasing if we increase this graph. Okay, that seems to be very hard to understand at the first views, but it's a very powerful control. So you don't have to worry about just how to configure this kind of graph. So I have done for you, but of course you can tweak these values to create different effects. For example, we can go down this value and the ink brush changes behavior. Okay, so now we see um, how the brush stroke is applying. No speed, no changes. Speed, we have a big amount of ink, and then the radius decrease. But that is for another tutorial. We will cover in more in depth in another tutorial. Let's continue with the pen. It is basic on the same stuff, but it nothing's changed so dramatically with speed. Is more linear. As you can see here, we are changing the radius by the fine speed, but not really too much. Okay, so this is very useful to sketching, just like a regular or normal pen. We have this detail. Okay, you can see here as we apply the the pen over the tablet. We have this interesting effect. It's like ink be absorbed by the paper, and we will cover we will cover this in another tutorial, or maybe in this one, I don't know. So let's continue. Then we have the pen brush. Pen brush is very interesting because it's pressure dependent, and more pressure we are increasing the radius, and this way we can have some brush stroke quality. We can go to thick to thin easily, and this is very interesting because sometimes we don't want to have this kind of brushstroke so linear. Good for architecture, cars, and shapes, but for a character we are usually more used to create something like this kind of brushstrokes. So that's pretty nice and better. The next one is the calligraph. Calligraph is just it is a bit complex brush. It is it is not directional, so I set the okay. We are going to close the layers to see more to see better the brush settings. Now we can see we are we have mapped the elliptical depth angle parameter to 45 degrees, and we can change this easily, and then the effect is changing. But it is something complicated speed how the grass speed works, but it's just for calligraphic types effect. Oops, sorry, I have changed the color. And if we apply more fast speed, it remembers the speed and we continue. But as we are decreasing the speed, the size of the brush is increasing again. So if we make just calligraphic stuff like this very fast, we have a thin thin line. um, Very interesting to create some effects, but I'm more used to use markers, and markers are pretty nice to sketching fast what we want to sketch. Maybe if we are drawing for a character with a B pencil, we can just apply markers, and then um, big surface is covered by the brushstroke, and that's very interesting. And now we can, for example, make some brush strokes. So you can see the effect. So it is interesting that um, with speed we are modifying the hardness. So we can see here, okay, we are modifying the hardness with the fine speed. So more speed means less hardness in a linear way. Okay, but just slightly. Okay, so if we increase this value, we get something like this, because no hardness, it is not visible brushstroke. Okay, so it is very easy to set up the amount of hardness we want, and we also can change the base value. For example, decrease. The next one is the laid line, and the laid line is good for to make good quality brush strokes. When we are inking and we need a precise brush stroke, we can use this brush. Okay, so it is controlled by the slow position tracking, which is set up to 10 and as the maximum value, and we can also tracking per depth, but um, I think this in combination works better. So we have a nice slow brush stroke.